students, a very good morning to all of you. So the first poem of alternative English for class 11 is The Daffodils. So we are going to read the poem Daffodils today. Before reading the poem, let me tell you something about the poet. The name of the poet is William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is one of the most accomplished and successful and one of the most influential romantic poet of England. He was born on 1770 and he died on 1850. So William Wordsworth created a new tradition of poetry in English, and he also created a new style. He also created theories of poetry, and that is named as lyrical ballads, which is considered as the masterpiece of English literature. So he composed lyrical ballads in the year 1798 with one of his contemporary poet named Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He is also regarded, that is also lyrical ballad is considered as the manifesto of English poetry, romantic poetry. So according to William Wordsworth, what is the definition of poetry? According to William Wordsworth tells that poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. That means in order to write poetry, the strong powerful feelings should be there, and those powerful feelings should be recollected in tranquility. Tranquility means in a very peaceful or calm environment. So according to poet William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow. You have to overflow your powerful feelings to write poetry, but that should be at the same time collected in the tranquility, means in the very peaceful or in the very lonely movement. So and again he told that William Wordsworth told that nature, people can betray you, human beings can betray you, or other animals can betray, but nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Means if people or anybody love nature, nature cannot betray the person who loved her. According to William Wordsworth, that means they worship nature, and that was the main characteristics of English romantic poetry, that the poet should have to worship nature. Worship nature, love of nature are the prime characteristics of English romantic poetry. So William Wordsworth again became the poet laureate in Poet laureate is the highest recognition in England, and he got that highest recognition called Poet laureate in the year 1843. And he also wrote a poetic autobiography, and it was named as The Prelude, and it was published in the year 1850, at the very time when he died. So this is about the poet. Before knowing these things, before reading this poem, we have to know the characteristics of English romantic poetry, because it is a romantic poem. Daffodil. So daffodil is a particular flower. It is a yellow flower. So a flower is an object of the nature. So again, you will get the very characteristics of English romantic poetry here, because daffodil itself is an example of nature. So we are going to read the poem. We are going to have the explanation of this poem. So the very first line, if you have the book, just bring out your book and try to read the lines also. So we are going to read the first stanza. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. So the poet, I means the speaker, is the poet. The poet says he wandered. Wandered means roaming everywhere without aim. Aimlessly, when you roam everywhere without any aim, without any purpose, that is called wandered. So he moved aimlessly from one place to another place. Wandered is what that mean by. So he wandered lonely, and he was very lonely as a cloud, and he compares his loneliness with a cloud, that floats on high over vales and hills. That means the cloud wandered everywhere, and that floats on high over vales. Vales means here valleys. So cloud, you can see cloud over the valleys, over the hills, and it roams everywhere without any purpose, without any aim. So at that suddenly he wondered and he compared his loneliness with a cloud. And when you compare that some dissimilar objects, you made a comparison with the dissimilar objects. This is a poetic device and it is called metaphor. As a cloud is as like, if you got this particular kind of watch, it is called simile. Simile means comparison with the similar objects. So when all at once suddenly he, all at once means suddenly he could able to see a crowd. Crowd means a huge number, in a very huge number. We use crowd along with the human being, but the poet here used crowd for the daffodils because he could able to see suddenly a huge number of daffodils. A host means is here in a great number. He could able to see a great number of daffodils suddenly. Okay, when he was roaming everywhere from one place to another like the cloud, without any aim, without any purpose, he could able to see a host of golden daffodils, and that was in great number. That was a crowd. So the first stanza here goes like that. Second is that beside the lake, golden daffodils, those daffodils were in a great number beside the lake water. Beside the lake water, those daffodils were there. Beneath the trees, beneath means the underneath the trees. Under the trees, he could able to see a host of great number of daffodils, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So fluttering is the shaking kind of things. People toss their heads like that. So they were fluttering, they were shaking, and they were dancing in the breeze. Breeze is that wind, that the cool wind. So in the breeze, because it was, since those golden daffodils were beside the lake water, that's why they were fluttering, they were shaking, and they were dancing because of the wind. Continuous as the stars that shines, those golden daffodils were shining like the stars, and they were shining very continuously, in a very continuous way, they were shining like the stars. And twinkle on the Milky Way, and they were twinkling like the Milky Way in the sky, like the stars they were shining, and like the Milky Way they shine with a very wavering light. Do you understand? Okay, those golden daffodils were in great number. They were dancing like the human beings. They were shaking their heads because of the wind, because of the breeze. Beside the lake water, they were continuously shining like the stars in the sky. They were continuously twinkling like the Milky Ways in the sky. They were shine and they were bright. That means they stretch in a never-ending line, and they were stretched, they were they expanded, they were in a number, they expanded in a very never-ending line. That means the poet could not able to see the last of the golden daffodils, the last number of the golden daffodils, because those were in infinite number. Along the margin of a bay, means beside the black water, they were creating a margin. They were creating a margin of a bay. Bay means that beside the lake water, they were creating a margin. Those golden daffodils, line of the golden daffodils were creating a number, creating a margin. 10,000 saw I at a glance. At a glance means within a wink of an eye, means suddenly he could able to see 10,000. 10,000 here doesn't mean the 10,000 in number, but 10,000 here means the infinite number of the golden daffodils. So he could able to see the infinite number of golden daffodils here. So tossing their heads in a sprightly dance, they were very sprightly. Here implies the lively dance. They were giving a dance. They were dancing and they were giving a very live dance. The sprightly means in a very joyous way, in a very lively or gay. They were tossing their heads. The golden daffodils were tossing their heads. Then the waves beside them dance. Beside those golden daffodils, the waves dance. But they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. The waves also dance, but they outdid. They outdid means to golden daffodils outdid. Outdid means here faded, faded up. They outdid or they faded up sparkling waves in glee because they were very happy. They were very lively. Those golden daffodils seemed to be very lively, and with that sparkling waves, outfaded the waves of the golden daffodils. All right. So then the poet said, a poet could not be but gay in such a jocund company. A poet in such a company, in such a beautiful company, in such a jocund means very happy, lively, cheerful. Jocund here implies cheerful. So in a very cheerful company, the poet says that a poet could not be but gay. That means a poet must have to be very happy in such a beautiful company. I gazed and gazed. That means he said a person who has a poetic mind, he must be very happy to see such a beautiful or cheerful company of the golden daffodils. So I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. And he gazed and gazed. Gaze means that steady look. He was giving that steady look again and again, but one little thought came to his mind, that he thought that what wealth the show to me had brought. That means if something good happens to us, which that is very natural, we think that what is the good things I did today morning or tomorrow morning, that because of that good thing I could able to see, or I can able to see this beautiful shine. So he thought that what is the wealth, what is the beautiful thing I did, because of the beautiful thing or the wealth I could able to see, or he could able to see the beautiful golden daffodils. All right. So he thought, he gazed and gazed, he gave the steady look again and again, and that little thought came to his mind, that what is the wealth, and he compared that wealth with the material wealth. The view of the golden daffodils he compared with the material things. That means that material, like the material things always gives us happiness, like the material things, the beautiful scenery of the golden daffodils also gives him happiness. So he thought that what is the particular wealth that had brought me this beautiful sight. Okay. So the last stanza, for oft means for often. So for often, when I on my couch I lie, on my couch is a bed or sofa type of thing. So he said that when on my couch, for often when my couch I lie down in a very vacant or pensive mood. Vacant means that empty mind, or pensive is whenever your head is loaded with thoughts and sad thoughts. So whenever he becomes sad, that means, or his head was loaded with thoughts, and it was empty. Then he said, they flash upon the inward eye. They means the golden daffodils. The scenery of the golden daffodils flashed upon his inward eye. Inward eye here means the eye of the mind. That means in his heart. Okay. So whenever he becomes very lonely, he lie down on his couch, on his bed, on his sofa. Then with his head is loaded with thoughts. Then he could able to see a number of golden daffodils. They flash upon his heart, and which is the bliss of solitude. And he thought that it is the bliss of solitude. Bliss means blessings, and solitude means in a state of loneliness. So in a state of loneliness, he thought that these are the blessings. Whenever the view of the golden daffodils comes to his mind, and he thought that these are the blessings, that the view of the golden daffodils seems to be the blessing of his solitude, of his being in a state of loneliness. So then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. And suddenly what happens whenever he becomes very sad, but the mood changes. Whenever the view of the golden daffodils comes to his mind, his mood completely changes. And suddenly his heart with pleasure fills. His heart is filled with pleasure, and his heart dances with the daffodils. He becomes suddenly very happy, and like the daffodils were dancing beside the lake water with the bridge, they were checking, and his heart is also going to dance in a very, or that dance is very lively. And to see the beautiful scenario of the golden daffodils, suddenly or they when they flash upon his inward eye or eyes of the mind, that suddenly comes to his mind and he becomes happy. Okay, this is about the poem. So basically he is praising the daffodils here. And sometimes it happens whenever you see suddenly a thing, little thing, whenever you see that thing, you cannot able to understand the meaning, or you cannot able to, you may not able to understand the meaning or importance or significance of that particular thing. But whenever you leave that thing, and after that you whenever you become sad or you become lonely, that view may come to your mind and you become suddenly happy, you may become suddenly happy. So this has happened with the poet. Whenever he saw the number of great number of golden daffodils, whenever he saw, at the moment of observing or seeing those golden daffodils, he could not able to understand the importance. But later, whenever he lied down on the couch with a very happy or with a very pensive or thoughtful mind, his head is loaded with thoughts, then he could able to remember, or he could able to remember the sight of the cheerful daffodils. Then he becomes suddenly happy. And that is about the poem. Thank you.